Good morning, everybody. This is the opening remarks for the webinar on developing instructional materials. And this is addressed especially to our Salesian educators. But this also serves as the good morning talk for today. And I'd like to thank, first of all, the college department under Ms. Jennifer Silaw, the Dean, and Mr. Joseph Briana, the Vice Dean for Academic Affairs. And he's now the one moderating this event, this webinar. And special thanks also to the heads and the leadership of the different departments. I'd like to thank in a special way also Mr. Ivan Ray Ancero, our resource speaker. One of the things that I would remember for the rest of my life was my participation in the 28th General Chapter of the Salesians of St. John Bosco in Turin. And the question that we were asking at that time, it's not only us who gathered in Turin from February to March, but even the whole of the Salesian congregation, all the Salesians, even 2 years before, we were asking ourselves the question, what kind of Salesians for the youth of today? And maybe we could translate that into our own context. What kind of Salesian educators for the Bosconians today, especially the Bosconians of Don Bosco Canlubang? And more concretely, how do we respond to this question? You know, during and after the pandemic, we would ask that question continually. How do we continue our noble task of educating? And this webinar is part of our response in the context of Bos Connect, a word that we have coined in order to address our issues, how to educate during this time of the pandemic or even post-pandemic. So we came up with this, Bos Connect, Bosconians, New Normal, Education, Continuity, Technology, staccato words, but which can be put together in what we're doing in this new normal, that education continues with the technology that's available. And it's a pity that this morning we have begun to have this live online meeting, webinar, but only to be at the mercy of the internet connection that has stopped for some time. And so this was supposed to be live, this message of mine, but I'm recording it right now. And that this will be featured later on my Facebook page also, as well as, I do not know if this can still be listened to during the webinar. But anyway, this message is particularly for this event that we have. This is our response. And you know, I do remember that in our constitutions, there's an article that speaks about this, about responding to the times. It's under the aspect of the Salesian spirit. And it's the Constitution of the Salesians of Don Bosco, but I believe it could very well be applied to Salesian educators, lay mission partners, like most of us. And the title of the article, which is article number 19, the title is Initiative and Flexibility. And these are the words that are in the article. The Salesian is called to be a realist and to be attentive to the signs of the times, convinced that the Lord manifests His will also through the demands of time and place. Hence, His spirit of initiative and apostolic creativity in those things which are for the benefit of young people in danger or which serve to win souls for God, I push ahead even to the event of recklessness. Timely response to these needs requires him to keep abreast of new trends and meet them with a well-balanced creativity of the founder. Periodically, he evaluates his work. As I said, this is an article of in the constitutions of the Salesians of St. John Bosco. And it's not only we Salesians who are called for this. It's for all Salesian educators to be realists, to be attentive to the signs of the times. And we also see here, timely response to these needs requires him to keep abreast on new trends. We are called to keep on these new trends and meet them with the well-balanced creativity of the founder. Don Bosco himself was a man of his times, and he read the signs of the times. In fact, he was at the vanguard of progress. And that well-balanced creativity that he had, it's something that we take from him. And something that is also said here, periodically, the Salesian evaluates his work. We, the Salesian educators, also evaluate our work. After some time of doing this, there will be a time to once again go together and see, are we doing well? Have we done well? What do we continue? What do we improve? And I'd like to end this little message of mine re-echoing what we have written to the parents regarding Boss Connect. And I'd like to read from this part. We end with a beautiful oft-quoted adage. Two men looked out from prison bars. One saw the mud, the other saw stars. It is inevitable that we would see all the mire, the negative effects that the coronavirus pandemic has brought to humankind. It is a natural reaction to be more anxious, for we tend to look at the more immediate and basic exigencies of life. However, as the crisis has brought about new ways of looking at things, renewed bonds among families, more time for rest, getting to know what are the most essential things in life, we also find new ways of doing things. Among them, to put our act together so that the education of our children would not be halted. The time of the pandemic will thus become a privileged moment of an even greater collaboration between the parents and the educators. We are in this together, all of us, the administration, faculty, and the stakeholders of Don Bosco College, need to be committed towards working hand in hand to provide meaningful learning experiences for our Bosconians and to make 2020 to 2021 a successful school year. Bosconians will need to be consistent and diligent in performing their tasks and duties and participate actively in school activities. The parents and official guardians will have significant roles in monitoring the learning progress of their sons. The school personnel, teachers, administration, non-teaching staff will continue to provide relevant educational experiences and support for the holistic formation of all Bosconians. And dear Salesian educators, you are gathered together in this webinar, some face-to-face, but most of you online, in order to look at this challenge. How to deliver instruction, how to develop instructional materials. This is something that we look at, a response to the needs of the day, to continue being in the vanguard of progress. I wish you all the best. God bless you.